Hello, I'm Ramirez, and I am currently 16 years old and a junior in high school. I'm going to be talking about my mental health journey and what led to me being in a state of sadness and depression last year. This all started around the summer of 2021. That's when I was basically, overall, I was just trying to do things on my own, not wanting to receive anyone's help. And that led to me just being filled up with pride and just really not reaching out for help and keeping silent about the pain that was festering within me. Like, it was so bad to the point where I didn't even talk to God about it because I felt ashamed. And that's around the time, around, I want to say fall of that year. That's when I started getting into old habits and I was just hurting myself a lot. And I kept silent about it. I wasn't talking to anyone. Being led by pride just hurt me. And I'm still in the process of healing. I'm not gonna sit up here and say, oh, I'm perfect. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm trying to say is that me keeping silent affected me in a negative way. Also, around the summer of 2021, that's when I started self-harming. Not by cutting, but it started by other ways, other forms. But it started to get worse when it turned 2022. I'm not really going to get in the details of what I specifically did, but overall, it just was not a good position for me to be in. I was hurting myself a lot. I was keeping silent, which was not the way to go. I was just quiet. I was not even talking, not even to God. I wasn't praying about it. I was just keeping silent and thinking, oh, I can solve this on my own. I can do it on my own. There's no need to worry. I got this. I overall ended up hurting myself, and me not reaching out just very much affected me mentally and emotionally, because at that time it was not good. That's really all I can say. It was not good at all. Something else that played into my mental health was social media. Just seeing people on social media, just the way they posted, I was like, why can't I be the way they are? Why can't I do the things they're doing? Why am I the way I am? And I wasn't just appreciating the traits that God gave me, who I am as an individual, and not comparing myself to someone else. That led to me being jealous of people, growing envy and hate, and I just was a bitter person. I was just sad. I wasn't as confident. I was hiding myself in a bubble of comfort where I didn't reach out for help and was just hurting myself even more. And the fact also in school, I was probably labeled a weird kid because I was just quiet all the time, but you should not judge a book by its cover. I don't even know if people even thought I was weird, or if they just thought, I don't know if I'm just quiet in general, but I was just in a state of sadness is all I can say. It wasn't until I decided to speak up, which was very hard for me to do, that change was starting to come slowly and slowly. It was so hard for me to speak up, but after speaking up to my brother, to other Christians, I just felt a weight being lifted off my shoulder, slowly but surely. Me praying to God about it helped me as well. I was just really in a dark place at the time where I just could not value myself. I was speaking negative about myself. Those thoughts sometimes arise, but instead of me letting them control me, I give it to God, pray about it, and move on. I do not let emotions, or I try not to let emotions lead me in my decisions. I try my best to be led by prayer and by God in my decisions that I want to do in my life. But at that time, it was by my emotions, and that really affected me mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It was just a dark place for me to be in. The overall message I'm trying to bring about is that mental health is not a joke. If you are suffering, if you're hurting, speak up, as hard as it is. For me personally, as I said, it was hard for me to speak up, but just trust me, in the end, you feel better. You feel relief, and just knowing that there are people there to support you and want to help you and want your benefit and not your hurt. Society today has made mental health a joke by like these memes saying like, oh, when you overthink, oh, depression this, depression that. And like, I feel like when it comes in terms of someone actually struggling with those things, mental health, self-harm, depression, no one knows what to do. What I'm trying to say is like, no one knows how to approach the situation because either they themselves are struggling mentally or society has made them see those things as a joke and they don't know how to come forth about it, how to talk and speak up about it. Our generation, or my generation, is just, we haven't done a good job. There is awareness for it, but I just feel we have not set our best foot forward, and this is why we're seeing just mental health arise among teens, and why we're seeing so much, like, I guess, a loss of confidence, a loss of passion to like do things. We're just being slowly taken to a place where we're just gonna be in a dark position and we're not gonna know what to do afterwards. I'm talking about this because I've had friends, or I know of people who take mental health as a joke and they don't really take it seriously. I've not done a good job in trying to correct them, but I'm just like, yo, don't do that. Like, why are we gonna talk about mental health in a joking manner? It's not a joke, it's something serious. And I'm speaking about personal experience. Overall, ways that helped me get through what I went through: prayer, God, speaking like with close friends. I'm sorry, excuse my birds, but just talking with people who you can trust in, who gained my trust, helped a lot. Not even my family knew at the time that I was struggling with my mental health until I spoke up about it when I was like healing, in the process of healing. All I'm just trying to say is, don't be afraid to speak up. Speaking up in the end will actually, in a way, set you free from a pain that you're holding in. Because I was holding in a pain that festered into hate, bitterness, malice, and envy, and rage and pride within me. Looking back, I realized I wasn't at peace within myself. I wasn't at peace with God. And speaking in a spiritual way, Satan is the one who brings those negative things in our lives. He's the one who wants us to think on the negative things and not on the positive, which was my mistake last year. Just bringing myself down, talking negative about myself. It's easier said than done, but we should be thinking positively about ourselves and just appreciating the people that God made us. As in, like, hold on, let me gather my thoughts. I'm not saying like, oh, be you, because we're all sinners. We're all sinners falling short of His glory. And all I'm saying is like, we shouldn't self-compare ourselves to others and then miss opportunities given to us because we're focusing on other people's lives and goals and like endeavors that they've achieved or that they want to achieve. When the time comes, when opportunities arise for us and we miss them, we overall just get distracted by other people's goals and accomplishments, that we don't value ourselves and the people around us. All I'm saying is, speak up to someone. Don't hold in sadness and bitterness and anger. And I'm talking about my mental health. I feel like I was kind of all over the place, but I hope you get the big message that I'm trying to say. Speak up about your mental health. If you're struggling, I'm here. If you want to talk with me, I'm still fighting like other things, but my mental health for sure, 100%, and I can say this with confidence, I'm not in a vulnerable position in my mental health. I'm not overthinking like crazy like I used to. I'm not self-harming anymore. But I know probably someone who's watching this, they're thinking they want to kill themselves, they want to hurt themselves. Someone loves you in this world. You doing that can affect the people around you as it did with the people around me. God cares for you and He loves you. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, He loves you. He loves us deeply. He doesn't want any to perish, but that all should come to repentance. He loves all of His children and doesn't want the evil for anyone, but He wants the good. But it's in our hands if we want to accept His love and His help, or if we just gonna let it pass by and just continue to do things on our own and hurting ourselves and just wanting to live our lives and just be distracted in a corrupt world and society where sin has been normalized, and it's affecting people's mental health because it's out of the ordinary, out of the natural way that God intended things to be. And this is just one part of my testimony, my mental health journey. There are other parts that I can address sometime in the future, but my overall testimony I wanted to speak up about was my mental health. I feel also one more thing, that I struggled with my mentality for so long, because from a young age, and I'm talking about like others as well, we were just put like, you have to be the best, you have to put your best foot forward at school, be the highest in the class, get the perfect grades, like just act in a manner where they're like, he's a good student, act in a way that they're like, oh, he's a good person. But in the end, that really affects your mental health. And like, I'm still slowly trying to get out of that bubble, but it's not really captivating me as it used to. It's not empowering me like it used to. But now it's like in a mentality set where like, I'm not trying to please people. I want to try my best to please God. I want to try to stop acting in a way where it's like society sees me as, oh, he's perfect, quote unquote perfect, because behind closed doors there are so many things that I went through, there are so many things that I'm going through, there are so many things that I'm going to go through, but God is there for us always, and he won't leave us nor forsake us. The overall picture I'm trying to say is, God is there for us. His word says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, to think on these things. His word also says, thou wilt keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. God is wanting to help us in a corrupt, broken world where we think we have to do things on our own, and for us to process like God wants to help us, like for us to get that help, the divine help, it just feels impossible, and we're just drowning in our sadness and our sorrow, and we don't see a bigger picture that there's a God who loves us and cares for us immensely. I can bring up so many other points, but I feel like this is it for now. This is just one part of my testimony, my mental health. And I can say and I can thank God that I'm in the position I am in today regarding my mental health and my confidence, not bringing myself down, just feeling more happier. And there are so many things that I can talk about, but it cannot all fit in this video. I love you all. God bless and peace. I don't know.